Look up at the night sky. What do you see? Billions of stars, billions of worlds. It looks peaceful, it looks majestic, but most of all, it looks quiet. For decades, we have pointed our radio telescopes at the stars. We have been listening for a signal, a message, a sign that we are not alone. But we have heard nothing, only the static hiss of cosmic background radiation. This is the famous Fermi Paradox. The universe is billions of years old. It should be teeming with life. There should be thousands of advanced civilizations buzzing across the galaxy. So, where is everybody? We assume that the silence means the universe is empty. We assume that we are lonely because life is rare. But there is another possibility, a possibility that is far more terrifying. What if the universe is not empty? What if it is full of life? But everyone is staying quiet for a reason. Imagine a dark forest at night. It is deathly quiet, not because there are no animals, but because the animals know that there are predators in the dark, and the only way to survive is to remain silent. If this theory is true, then our search for aliens is a mistake. We're like a baby crying in a dark forest. We're shouting into the void, hoping for a friend, but we might be calling a hunter. This is the dark forest theory, and it explains why the universe is so terrifyingly silent. To understand why the universe is silent, we must first strip away our human emotions. We must stop thinking like humans living in a society and start thinking like cold, calculating survivors on a cosmic scale. We have to look at the laws of cosmic sociology. According to the dark forest theory, there are two fundamental axioms that govern all life in the universe. Two rules that cannot be broken. The first axiom is simple. Survival is the primary need of civilization. Before art, before culture, before morality, and before curiosity, a civilization must survive. If you are dead, nothing else matters. Therefore, every decision a civilization makes is ultimately driven by the biological instinct to keep existing. The second axiom is where the horror begins. Civilization continuously grows and expands, but the total matter in the universe remains constant. Think about what this means. Life wants to spread. A civilization starts on one planet. It consumes the resources. It grows. Then it moves to its moons, then to neighboring planets, then to nearby stars. It grows exponentially, like a bacteria in a petri dish. But the petri dish does not grow. The universe is vast, yes, but it is finite. There is a limited amount of matter, a limited number of habitable planets, a limited amount of energy from stars. This means that the universe is not a garden where everyone can live in peace. It is a battlefield of limited resources. Every civilization is a competitor. Every other species is a potential threat to your own survival, simply because they consume the resources you might need in the future. But you might ask, why can't we just talk to them? Why can't we establish trade and diplomacy, like we do on Earth? Why does it have to be war? This brings us to the concept of the chain of suspicion. The distances in space are vast. Light takes years, centuries, or even millennia to travel between stars. This creates an impossible barrier for communication. If we send a message to a civilization 100 light years away, we have to wait 200 years for a reply. In that time, anything can happen. We cannot know their true intentions, and they cannot know ours. Let us imagine a scenario. Suppose we find a neighbor. We don't know if they are benevolent or malicious. Maybe they are peaceful, but we cannot be 100% sure. And if we are wrong, the price is extinction. We cannot take that risk. But it gets worse. Even if we know they are peaceful right now, we cannot trust them. Why? Because of the technological explosion. On a cosmic timescale, civilizations do not develop linearly. They explode. It took humans hundreds of thousands of years to go from stone tools to agriculture, but it took only a few hundred years to go from agriculture to splitting the atom. If we see a civilization that is currently in the Stone Age, we might think they are harmless. But in the time it takes for our light to reach them, they could experience a technological explosion. By the time our ships arrive, they could be gods. They could be infinitely more powerful than us. So, a weak neighbour today is a deadly threat tomorrow. In a universe of exponential growth and limited resources, everyone is a threat. There is no room for trust. There is no room for mercy. The only rational move, the only way to guarantee your own survival, is to eliminate the competition before they eliminate you. This leads us to the ultimate metaphor of this theory, the picture of the universe. The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is an armed hunter stalking through the trees like a ghost. He pushes aside the branches that block his path and tries to tread without sound. He even breathes quietly. He has to be careful, because everywhere in the forest are stealthy hunters like him. If he finds other life, another hunter, an angel or a demon, a delicate infant or a tottering old man, a fairy or a demigod, there is only one thing he can do: open fire and eliminate them. In this forest, hell is other people. An eternal threat that any life that exposes its own existence will be swiftly wiped out. This is the picture of cosmic sociology. This is the explanation for the Fermi Paradox. We are not alone. The forest is full of hunters. But they are hiding. They are holding their breath. Because they know that in the dark forest, the first one to scream is the first one to die. And we humans? We have been screaming into the darkness for over 100 years. We have built bonfires and danced around them. We have sent maps to our home. We've invited the hunters to come and find us. And now we wait. To understand why peace is impossible in the universe, we have to talk about trust. Here on Earth, trust is easy. If I meet a stranger, I can talk to him. I can look at his face. I can understand his emotions. We share the same biology, the same history and the same planet. If we have a misunderstanding, we can solve it in seconds. But in the cosmos, this is impossible. Space creates a wall that no amount of goodwill can break down. This wall is built of two things: distance and difference. First, let's talk about difference. Imagine we meet an alien civilization. We assume they think like us. We assume they value life, love, and art. But this is a dangerous assumption. They might be a hive mind that sees individuality as a cancer. They might be machines that see biological life as a virus. They might communicate through smells or colours or magnetic fields. To them, a handshake might be an act of aggression. To them, sending a radio signal might be a declaration of war. We are biological aliens to each other. We can never truly understand the mind of the other. But even if we could understand them, we have the problem of distance. And this leads to the most terrifying concept in cosmic sociology: the chain of suspicion. Let's play a logic game. Imagine two civilizations. Let's call them humanity and the aliens. I am a human. I know that I am benevolent. I do not want to destroy the aliens. But I do not know if the aliens are benevolent. Maybe they want to kill me. So, I have to be suspicious. But it goes deeper. Even if I assume the aliens are benevolent, how do I know that they know I am benevolent? They might think I am a threat. And if they think I am a threat, they might attack me out of fear. So even if they are good, I am in danger because they might be scared of me. But it goes even deeper. How do the aliens know that I know that they know that I am benevolent? This is the chain of suspicion. It is an infinite loop of doubt. I think that you think that I think that you are going to attack me. In mathematics, this loop creates a state of total instability. Because of the vast distances in space, we cannot talk to resolve this doubt. Communication is too slow. The chain cannot be broken by words. This brings us to the famous sniper in the dark room analogy. Imagine you are a sniper locked in a pitch black room. You have a gun. You are terrified. You know that somewhere in this room there is another sniper. He also has a gun. He is also terrified. You are a good person. You don't want to kill him, but you cannot see him. You cannot talk to him. If you shout, "I am friendly," you reveal your position, and he might shoot you just to be safe. You sit in the dark, sweating, finger on the trigger. You start thinking, if he sees me, he will think I will shoot him, so he will shoot me first. Therefore, to save my own life, I must shoot him before he shoots me. It doesn't matter if you're good. It doesn't matter if he is good. The logic of the situation forces you to pull the trigger. In a dark room with limited information, the only rational move is to kill. The universe is that dark room. Every civilization is a sniper, and the chain of suspicion ensures that no one can ever trust anyone else. This is why the sky is silent. This is why no one answers our messages, because anyone who is naive enough to answer has already been shot. So we have established the rules of the game. The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is a hidden hunter. To speak is to reveal your location. To reveal your location is to invite death. The only rational strategy is absolute silence. Knowing this, let us look at what humanity has done for the last 100 years. Have we been silent? Have we been careful? No. We have been the loudest thing in our corner of the galaxy. Since the invention of radio, Earth has been leaking information into space. Every television broadcast, every radio show, every radar ping from the Cold War, all of it is leaking out. It forms a giant sphere of electromagnetic noise expanding at the speed of light. This sphere is now over 200 light-years wide. Any advanced civilization within that bubble knows we're here. They have been watching our soap operas, listening to our music, and analysing our wars. But leakage is accidental. What is far worse is what we have done on purpose. Driven by a naive curiosity, we have intentionally sent invitations to the stars. In the 1970s, we launched the Voyager probes. These are the fastest objects humans have ever built. And attached to the side of these ships is a golden record, a phonograph record plated in gold, designed to last for 1 billion years. What is on it? Everything. We put pictures of our biology. We put the sounds of our animals. We put our music, our languages, and our greetings. We essentially wrote a biography of the human race and threw it into the cosmic ocean. But we didn't stop there. We included a map. On the cover of the golden record there is a diagram showing the location of Earth relative to 14 pulsars. It is a precise celestial GPS. If any hunter finds this record, they will not only know who we are, they will know exactly where we live. We literally drew a map to our front door and handed it to the darkness. Then, in 1974, we sent the Arecibo message. We used the most powerful radio transmitter on Earth to fire a high-energy beam directly at the Hercules globular cluster. This message contained our DNA structure. It contained a graphic of a human being, and it contained the population of Earth. Think about the insanity of this. We told the unknown darkness, here is what we look like. Here is how our biology works. Here is exactly where we are. And by the way, there are billions of us here, and we have plenty of resources. In the context of the dark forest theory, this is suicidal. It is like a child walking into a jungle full of tigers and shouting, "I am here, I am delicious, come and find me." Why did we do this? Because we assumed that any civilization advanced enough to travel the stars must be morally advanced as well. We projected our own human desire for connection onto the cold vacuum of space. We assumed that technology brings wisdom, but in the dark forest, technology only brings better weapons. The famous physicist Stephen Hawking warned us about this. He said, "If aliens visit us, the outcome would be much as when Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans." He understood the danger. He knew that a meeting between a primitive civilization and an advanced one almost always results in the destruction of the primitive one. But his warnings were ignored. Even today, there are organizations actively trying to send messages to nearby exoplanets. They call it METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. They believe it is our destiny to reach out, but they are gambling with the existence of the entire human species. Every message we send is a roll of the dice. Maybe the receiver is a benevolent philosopher who wants to teach us the secrets of the universe. Or maybe the receiver is a starving hunter who's been waiting for a signal just like this. The tragedy is that once the signal is sent, it cannot be called back. The Arecibo message is already 50 light-years away. The radio bubble is still expanding. The Voyager probes are drifting into the deep dark. The bullet has left the gun. We cannot stop it. We can only wait and see what it hits. Perhaps the forest is empty and we are safe, but if the forest is full, then someone somewhere has already heard us, and maybe, just maybe, they are already on their way, not with a handshake, but with a weapon. We have talked about the forest. We have talked about the hunters. We have talked about our own foolish noise. Now we must talk about the end. When we imagine an alien invasion, we think like humans. We imagine massive fleets of spaceships darkening our skies. We imagine laser battles, explosions, ground troops, and heroic resistance. We imagine Independence Day or Star Wars. But in the context of cosmic sociology, this is a childish fantasy. It is a primitive projection of our own tribal warfare onto a galactic scale. Real cosmic warfare is not dramatic. It is not loud. And it certainly is not fair. If a hunter in the dark forest decides to eliminate us, they will not send a fleet. Sending a fleet is expensive. It requires energy, resources, and time. Worst of all, it exposes the location of the attacker. If I send 1,000 ships to kill you, someone else might see my ships and kill me. No, advanced civilizations do not fight duels. They perform pest control. They do not want to conquer us. They do not want to enslave us. We are nothing to them. We are just a potential risk that needs to be removed. And they will remove us in the most efficient, cheapest way possible. So how does a dark forest strike actually happen? It relies on the laws of physics taken to their terrifying extreme. The first method is the kinetic strike, also known as the photoid. Imagine a small object, something the size of a grain of sand. Now, accelerate that grain of sand to near the speed of light. At 99.9% of light speed, mass becomes infinite. That tiny particle carries more kinetic energy than all the nuclear weapons on Earth combined. The hunter does not aim at Earth. That is too difficult. Instead, they aim at the sun. They fire this grain of sand from light years away. It travels silently through the void. We cannot see it coming because it is moving at the speed of light. We cannot intercept it. We cannot negotiate with it. One moment the sun is shining as it always has. The next moment the particle strikes the star's core. The equilibrium of the sun is instantly destroyed. Our star explodes into a supernova. The entire solar system is vaporized in a matter of minutes. There is no war. There is no battle. Just a sudden blinding light, and then silence. The hunter has cleared the forest, and he didn't even stop walking. But there is a second method, a method so advanced it defies human comprehension. The dimensional strike. Physics tells us that the universe has dimensions: length, width, height. We live in a three-dimensional world. But what if you could weaponize the dimensions themselves? Imagine a weapon that collapses space, a dual-vector foil. It looks like a small piece of paper, but when it touches our solar system, it triggers a cascade failure in the fabric of reality. It forces three-dimensional space to collapse into two dimensions. Think of a mosquito being slapped onto a piece of paper. It loses its depth. It becomes a flat drawing. Its internal organs, its biology, its very atoms are crushed into a flat plane. Nothing can survive this. As the dimensional strike expands, the Earth, the Sun, and every human being are pulled into this two-dimensional painting. We would see the moon flattening out in the sky. We would see the sun turning into a flat disk of gold. And then we would be pulled in. Mathematical precision. Absolute erasure. The solar system becomes a beautiful silent painting floating in space, never to be heard from again. This is the true horror of the dark forest. The destruction is not done out of hatred. The hunter does not hate the bug he steps on. He simply steps on it because it is safer than leaving it alive. It is impersonal. It is indifferent. It is simply clean-up. For us, this is a nightmare. But for a civilization that has survived for millions of years, this is just Tuesday. They have likely done this thousands of times. They have sterilized entire sectors of the galaxy just to be safe. They have turned stars into dust and worlds into paintings, just to ensure that no one ever rises up to challenge them. And right now, our radio signals are travelling towards them. Our Arecibo message is knocking on their door. We are the bug that is buzzing in the ear of a sleeping giant. We are annoying them. We are revealing our position. And we are assuming they will be kind enough to ignore us. But in a universe where survival is the only law, kindness is an evolutionary disadvantage. Kindness gets you killed. Only the ruthless survive to become the masters of the stars. So when the strike comes, do not expect a warning. Do not expect a declaration of war. The sky will simply turn bright, and then nothing. The dark forest theory is just a theory. There is no proof that it is true, and for the sake of humanity we must hope that it is wrong. We must hope that the universe is full of friends, not hunters. But hope is not a strategy. If there is even a 1% chance that the forest is dangerous, we cannot afford to be loud. We need to stop shouting into the void. We need to shut down our transmitters. We need to listen instead of speaking. The next time you look up at the night sky and you see the billions of stars shining in the dark, do not look at them with wonder. Look at them with caution. The silence of the universe is not peace. It is a warning. We are still alive because we are small. We are still alive because they haven't noticed us yet. So, if we want to survive the night, there is only one rule we must follow. Be quiet.